Hello everybody, ProtoFoxy here, coming back at you with another video. We are back on the table. We were back on the sweet Pauper Guild playmat, and we've got some cards in front of us. So yes, this is another Magic deck tech. And if you're looking at that top card there, you're telling yourself, but Proto, didn't you already talk about an Infect deck? I think it was a Pauper Infect deck, if I remember correctly. Yes, I did. But this isn't the Pauper Infect deck, even though I'm on this sweet Pauper Guild playmat, and I will drop a link in the description down below where you can get yourself your own sweet Pauper Guild playmat or other Pauper Guild swag, anything your heart desires. But enough of that, we're going to go into this deck. Yes, we see Glistener Elf. We know this is going to be an Infect deck. No, Proto hasn't lost his mind. He's not talking about the same deck twice, even though I have done it before because I've updated things. I have updated things in my Pauper Infect deck. But that's small things. Taking inspiration from this. This is the Modern Simic Infect. And again, just I'm a sucker Infect. I love it. One of my favorite mechanics, and this is one of my favorite decks, and I have it in paper, and I'm going to share it with you right now. We've got 4 Glistener Elves. We know what he does. Single green for a 1/1 Infector. Bam! We've got 4 Blighted Agents. Single generic and a blue for a 1/1 Infector that can't be blocked. Bam! We've got 4 Noble Hierarchs. A single green for an 0/1 who gives your creatures Exalted. Exalted is whenever a creature attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 till the end of turn, and it taps for either a green, white, or a blue. One of the best mana dorks in the game. Bam! Right there. We've got 2 Spell Skites. 2 generic for an 0/4 Horror that has Phyrexian Blue. Change the target of target spell or ability to Spell Skite. So Phyrexian Blue can either be paid with 2 life or a blue mana. Yeah, just great redirecting. Keeps your guys from getting blown up because we got little guys, so we need some ways to protect them. Bam! So that's the creature package of Modern Infect. We are going to go into the other spells here, and you're going to see a whole lot familiar cards if you play Modern, or if you even play Pauper. There's some really good cards hanging around in the format in both decks that are common, so it makes me even happier. We've got 4 mutagenic growths. Phyrexian green. Target creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn. Whole lot of pumping going on. We got Might of Old Corrosa. And ooh, I didn't see that ding at the top of that one. Oops. Single green. For an instant that reads, target creature gets +2/+2 to the end of turn. If you cast this during your main phase, it gets +4/+4 instead. Bam! More pumping. A lot of green pumping. Vines of Vastwood. I've talked about this card before. We've got 4 of them. Let's take a look at that. Single green with a kicker of a single green. Can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control this turn. If Vines was kicked, that creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Now, we've got 4 scale ups. Single green for a sorcery that reads until end of turn. Target creature you control becomes a green worm with a base power and toughness of 6/4. And it has an overload of 4 generic and 2 green. You're not getting that late in the game with this deck to do the overload. If you do, more power to you. But basically, you're just casting it for the single green there. We've got 3 Distortion Strikes. I've talked about this card before in a couple of decks I run, so we just take a look at it here. Single blue. Target creature is +1/+0 until end of turn, and it is unblockable. Rebound. We've got 2 Blossoming Defense. So single green, target creature gets +2/+2 and hexproof till end of turn. Then we go into 2 Snakeskin Veil. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains hexproof until end of turn. Very similar to Ranger's Guile, but that's there. Snakeskin Veil. And then we've got 2 Groundswells. We've seen Groundswell before. Single green. Target creature has +2/+2 till end of turn. Landfall. If a land enters battlefield under your control this turn, it gets +4/+4. All kinds of crazy pumping. And then the final pump spell, Singleton of Become Immense. 5 generic and a green. You're saying to yourself, how are we going to cast that with this deck? It's supposed to be too fast. It has Delve. We know what Delve does. Target creature gets +6/+6 till end of turn. Whole lot of pumping going on to get our little infecting nerds through to just deal those 10 sweet, sweet poison counters to end the game. And this is why I love this deck. It's one of my favorites in Modern and in Pauper. Pauper is a little different because, you know, we got some stuff that's uncommon in this deck. We got some rares, and the mana base is obviously a bit different, and that's what we're going to go into now. We've got a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. This is new from Modern Horizons 2. This is basically a green Urborg. That's what that's there for. We got a Dryad Arbor. We got a land creature forest Dryad, a 1/1. That's a land. So it's not a spell. There you go. We've got 4 Inkmoth Nexus. And it doesn't come across in the sleeve because it's a flatter finish, but those are foil. Inkmoth Nexus adds colorless to your mana pool, and then you tap 1, it becomes a 1/1 Blinkmoth artifact creature with flying and infect until end of turn. Another infector. And we got some fetch lands, some windswept heath, some wooded foothills, verdant catacomb, misty rainforest. All ways to get the lands we need for our mana fixin' and to thin our deck. We've got 2 Pendle Havens, and I wish I would have gotten 2 of these, but hey, it's the way it rolls. 2 Pendle Havens. It's a legendary land, adds a green, and then you tap it. 1/1 creature gets +1/+2 until end of turn. More pumping. That's what we want to do in this deck. We've got 2 Waterlogged Groves. Pay life. Kind of like Painland. It adds green or blue. And then you pay 1 and sack it, draw a card. So it's a Horizon Canopy. So definitely great land there. We know what Breeding Pool does. We got a couple of those. Don't have to go into that. 2 forests. That is the mana base of Simic Modern Infect. As we clean up this mess here and get everything back together, we will take one last look at the deck. Look at that. Modern Infect, folks. As the camera's shaking around as I lean against the table, blah, 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 blah. But Modern Infect, folks. Fun deck. Again, it pops up from time to time. It does well when it does. I don't want to say it's a fringe deck. It's not sitting outside on the fringes. It's just kind of hangs out there, you know. It kind of works a crowd on both ends. So it hangs out on the fringes and then it goes into the tiers every now and again. But it's a good deck. Is it resilient to removal? Not really, but that's what your sideboard is for. And the sideboard is dependent on your local meta. I've geared it up to deal with, again, kind of my own meta, kind of the meta at large. And, you know, it does what it does. It's a lot of fun to play. Can consistently kill on turn 3. I've gotten turn 2 kills, which is just fun. Hilarious. I have a good time with it anyway. My opponents, not so much. But, yeah, it's a good deck. A lot of fun. And a lot of similarities to the Pauper Infect deck, especially now that I've updated mine. I'll have to do an updated video on that soon. But anyway, enough of my yakking about Infect. Put the deck together. Play the deck. It's fun. You'll have a blast. It gets you in there. It's super aggressive. And you only have to count to 10, not 20. And all that said, I'm going to leave you all with this. Wash your hands. Wear your masks, whether or not you're vaxxed, to protect your fellow human beings. Be kind to those said fellow human beings. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you did, maybe shoot a subscribe my way. I greatly appreciate it. I thank you all for dropping in, and I will see you in the next video.